Hello future doctors, welcome to Dipenism. I am Dr. Dipen Shah and we are discussing the tricky 3 MCQ for your AIIMS exam. And the topic that we are discussing is nervous system, and the type of MCQs are assertion and reasoning type. The first MCQ, assertion statement is: a neurotransmitter crosses the synapse and attaches to the receptors on the postsynaptic cell, that is the postsynaptic neuron. And the reason statement is, depending on the neurotransmitter, it may excite or inhibit the postsynaptic cell. Now in this MCQ, the assertion statement is specifically correct, that the neurotransmitter crosses the synapse and it attaches to the receptors on the postsynaptic cell. And the reason statement is also correct, that depending on the type of neurotransmitter, it can either excite or inhibit the specific receptors. But reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. The correct explanation is, why does a neurotransmitter cross the synapse? The reason for that is, it is a chemical synapse wherein there is a synaptic cleft present between the presynaptic and the postsynaptic neuron. Yes, indeed, depending on the type of neurotransmitter, it can be an excitatory neurotransmitter, which are acetylcholine, epinephrine or norepinephrine, or it could be an inhibitory neurotransmitters like GABA, that is gamma aminobutyric acid, or it could be serotonin or dopamine. But the reason statement is not the correct explanation. So in this MCQ, assertion and reason statements are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation. Hence we are marking option B as the correct answer. Moving to the next MCQ, where the assertion statement states that the speed of nerve impulse is faster on medulated nerve fibers than the non-medulated nerve fibers. And the reason statement states that in medulated nerve fibers, the impulses are conducted in saltatory manner. In this MCQ, assertion statement is definitely correct, that the nerve impulse is faster in medulated or a myelinated neuron, wherein the myelin sheath creates certain gaps, and those gaps are known as node of Ranvier. And from those node of Ranvier, the impulse are jumped from one node to the other node, which is known as saltatory conduction, which is specifically observed in medulated or myelinated neurons. So here assertion statement is correct, reason statement is correct, and reason is also the correct explanation. Hence here option A is the correct answer. In fact, to tell you more, in a medulated neuron, the velocity of the nerve impulse in mammals can be around 100 to 130 meter per second. That is what is the velocity of the nerve impulse conduction. Moving to the third MCQ, where the assertion statement states that threshold stimulus is required for propagation of impulse. And the reason statement states that threshold stimulus produces action potential, therefore conduction of impulse occurs. Now, whenever nerve impulse conduction occurs, the first stage is the resting or the polarized stage. From the polarized to enter into the depolarized stage, wherein the action potential is generated, there is essential that threshold stimulus is generated. Now what is threshold stimulus? It is the minimum stimulus intensity which is required. If the volume of my voice is very low, then you cannot hear anything. But when the volume increases up to the threshold stimulus, you can listen. So if I reduce my volume to a very low value below the threshold stimulus, your neurons will not be excited. Your neurons will not generate action potential. So that minimum stimulus which is required even for my volume to reach up to your brain, that is known as the threshold stimulus. And that threshold stimulus, the value of that is change of plus 10 millivolts. That change of plus 10 millivolts mainly generates the action potential. Hence, reason and assertion statements are correct, plus reason is the correct explanation of the assertion statement as well. Hence, all three conditions are tick mark. Hence, for this MCQ as well, the correct answer is option A. So these are the tricky 3 MCQs for your AIIMS exam. Stay tuned for my further videos. That's all from Dipenism.